Hi, Carolyn here, Trichologist, Absolique Hair Health Clinic. I share with a lot of my clients that the reason why I do what I do is because I've actually had hair loss myself twice in my life. So I have had some messages on YouTube requesting me to talk a little bit about my experience with hair loss. Now, my first experience, this is the first time I noticed I was a hairdresser. So hair styles and colours and all things were very important to me. And I decided in my late 20s that I would stop taking the contraceptive pill. Now, I was a trichologist at the time, so I understood scientifically that starting or stopping any medication could trigger hair loss, and it's called diffuse hair loss. So I was geared up for it, and I knew 3 months after that I stopped the pill, potentially I could have this diffuse hair loss. Well, it did happen to me. So even though I knew it was going to happen, I must say it was probably the scariest thing I've ever experienced. Any woman, your hair is really precious to you, and even more so when you're a hairdresser. So my hair had to look good every day, and then I was doing people's hair, so it was really hard to see your hair falling. So I know what it's like because I've been through that. What I was told was once you have diffuse hair loss is that it falls for 3 months, and then it's got to come back into its cycle, and then at the point of 9 or 12 months then the hair would come back. Well, 9, 12 months later my hair had not grown back. I actually had to have quite a short haircut, and it was thin and I couldn't style it. So 2 years later it still had not come back. My hair was very, very different to what it originally was. 3 years later I was desperate and I turned to hair extensions. At that time I only used the extensions that were available, and I was using the micro beads and the keratin bondings, and I used that for probably about 2 years. So it kind of helped me cover my hair problems, however they were still there. So it came to the point that my hairdresser said, take these extensions out, they're really damaging your hair. So I took them out, and lo and behold, it had damaged my hair even more. So then I had to have a very, very, very short haircut, the shortest hair I'd ever had in my life. So then I went along the path of growing my hair again. It's pretty sad. And all the time I was still a trichologist. I'd moved from hairdressing, and now I was working in hair replacement, and I was also learning about laser hair therapy. So I was discovering things that I never knew about hair growth whilst I was suffering these problems as well. So anyway, came around and I found my microscope, and I learned how to read the hair cell and the hair cycle, and we had a look on my scalp and we could see that it wasn't growing properly. So throughout that time I started setting up a business and had a lot of stress, and ended up with a nutritional deficiency, as in I ended up with iron deficiency because I was prescribed the wrong type of iron in the wrong environment. So from an iron deficiency it can trigger hair loss, and guess what? It triggered it for me again. So my hair still had not recovered from the original hair loss. It was probably done 5 years earlier, and I had another bout. So that was really, really devastating, as well as when you've got an iron deficiency, you really have limited energy and you're not feeling, in general, very, very good about yourself. So coming out of all of that, I then learnt about what happens to the hair cell and the hair cycle and what you need to do to correct it. So not only have I been through all of this, but I have corrected my hair cell and my hair cycle, and now can say this is the best hair I have ever had in my whole life. Even my childhood photos, I don't have this much hair. So to this day, it's probably now going 3 years since I started doing the hair loss treatments that I use and recommend, that I do continue to do my nutrition, and I also continue to once a week do my hair cycle treatment, and then I use some things when I wash my hair. I continue to keep doing it. I'm protecting myself from the damage that can happen through life, and I also continue to grow the healthiest hair. So you can see I do practice what I preach, and I understand what you're going through. So if you do need my help, it's Carolyn, trichologist here at Absolique Hair Health Clinic.